Hey, I'm Derek. I'm going to take a moment to show you how to operate a dash system, how to fill chemicals and load it all up and then send it over to the sprayer. That's what I'm going to cover here. First thing we'll talk about is processing jugs. So if you're processing jugs, all dashes have common systems. One is you'll see this rinse stem up in the nozzle here. There's also an air line that runs inside here right up to this point. Now, they all have a foot pedal down at the bottom. So what you're going to do is take your lid off your jug, throw it on the stem inside the inductor, then you're going to push this foot pedal. As you push it part way down, it's going to activate that air line that goes inside the stem, and you're going to pressurize your jug, and it's going to like blow it out. So it's super fast, just takes like 2 seconds, and that jug is empty. Push the foot pedal all the way down and it activates the water and starts washing the jug. So part way down is air, injects into the jug, real fast unload, all the way down, washes that jug out. Super fast processing jugs. So that's how you do jugs. We'll talk about bulk products. So you have bulk down up top using gravity. You would have cam locks in here. If you have our tote transfer kits from fiber, there's a valve on here. So comes out of the tote into your inductor. You would just turn this valve to allow it to fill to your desired amount. You can just use gravity to fill into these inductors. There's also additional chem pumps that are available that you can install in the back. So if you have these installed, these are air diaphragm pumps. Those same tote transfer hose kits also fit. The fittings are all the same, so you can plug it into a tote down below, and you could pump that up into your inductor. Again, control that pump right here, turning it on and off, filling it to the desired amount. If you're dealing with, let's say, barrels or anything like that, you can use these chem pumps to suck out of a barrel, or if you've got stuff in the cage, barrels in the cage, this is a cage tote transfer hose. You can take this guard off, and this hose will reach anywhere inside the cage. If you're sucking out barrels from inside there, goes under the deck, through the pump, up into whichever inductor you have it plugged into and you choose. So that's how you do bulk products. Let's talk about dry for a second. This is the coolest way of doing dry in the industry. Every inductor that has a dry mix agitator also has a water agitate valve. So you're going to see this valve here. You're going to turn this on. And what it's going to do is there is a nozzle, a rinse nozzle inside. It's going to start shooting water down in the neck of that thing, and you're going to start filling this inductor with water. So fill with as much water as you want, depending on your dry product you're mixing. Throw your dry in, and then you're going to activate this air motor. So there is a blender in the bottom of this tank hooked to this air motor. And as you turn it on, it's going to get it in suspension. You can control your speed right here. Just open it a little bit or more, this valve, and it's going to mix it for you. So mix it as much as you want. Just get it in suspension before you send it, so you can deal with it here. Next, we'll talk about filling your sprayer. So your tanks, your inductors are all loaded, and now you're ready to fill your sprayer. So what you're going to do is your sprayer is going to pull up, and there's different options, whether you have a hose reel or you have the boom. You're going to take your boom, swing it out. It'll reach about 27 feet through most ditches. So very simple. Hook it on. Then you're going to open your master water. As you open this master water, you've got now water coming from your tanks to your manifold down here, which you can control the water on, so you can pull from whichever tank you want. Normally, you want to pull from both tanks if at all possible. If you want your maximum speed out of this dash, you need lots of water coming to here, lots of water availability. So you got those open, this is open, you turn on your pump, and then you would start sending your chemicals from your different inductors. So if you have a certain mixing order or you want to send it, go ahead. It takes probably 20 to 30 seconds to send a full inductor to the sprayer while you're pumping water full tilt. So you never slow up the water. You got this revved up, you're transferring water. I normally like to send about 200 gallons of water to the sprayer first before I even start sending chemical. Then you start sending the chemicals. You're still doing water full tilt, but you're adding chemical to the water stream. As I pull the handle, it's going to open a valve, let the chemical into the water stream, sucking it out. As I pull it further, it opens a second rinse valve and starts washing the inductor out. As it's washing it, chasing that chemical out. When it's empty, then I would shut this off till about here, and it's going to shut that rinse nozzle off, but it's going to allow you to suck that last little bit of water out and then you're left with a clean, empty inductor. Once you got that water out, or some guys, two options, the other guys, what they'll do is they'll burp. They kind of burp it. They're pumping full tilt, it's empty, they shut it off, they just give it a second to let the water run to the bottom, and then they just kind of give it a little bit of a little burp, and it just sucks that last little bit of water out, and then you're empty. Some models will have what's called a boost kit. So if you open this all the way, it opens a second 2-inch valve. So you got a 3-inch and a 2-inch feeding straight into this pump, super fast. But if you have the 2-inch and the 3-inch open at the same time, you won't have as much vacuum on your manifold, because that 2-inch goes straight to the pump. You won't have as much vacuum on this manifold. So what's going to happen is it won't suck as fast out of here. So if you want max suction, like to empty this in 20 seconds, just don't turn on the boost. Just pull it up to the point where before the boost turns on, and then once all your product is there, then open the boost. Unless you don't mind it taking a minute or minute and a half to unload, that's your call. You'll kind of learn what you like there. So really simple to operate. Another thing to watch is your dry mix. If you have the dry mix agitator, this is your oiler. So fill this with air tool oil, and this is what lubricates that motor. Really important just to make sure that you always have oil in here, and the service life on that air agitate motor remains strong. So once you have it, maybe once your sprayer is close to being done, you maybe idle your motor back a little bit and shut your motor off, turn your master water off. And then if you have the boom with the blowout kit, so this is another add-on. Let's say you had this, you're pumping product to your sprayer or to a fertilizer tender if you're doing that. Then what you would do is you want to purge your boom, flip this switch, purge your line. Once you're happy with it, shut this off. It shuts off your air for you, locks it off. You can disconnect, store it all away. So those are some of the basic things on how to operate the dash.